Hello, everyone. Welcome to your Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. I'm your host, Ruben, and I'm super excited because this is the second time I'm gonna be hosting the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge for this entire week. Welcome everyone on the chat. Again, let's see who's in there. Super excited. And, we have a really packed week with amazing challenges for you to, go in and learn with us and interact with us. So if you want to download the starter files, just simply go in the description below and click on the source files that is there so you can start working with us at the same time. All right, without further ado, let's jump into what we have for today's challenge. All right, so for today's challenge, we're going to be creating a social media post, a couple of templates probably, but we're going to be joining the CreateWaves campaign, which is a campaign that is going around right now to use our creativity, right, to help raise awareness about the impact that has the climate change on our ocean and also our planet. So this is going to be pretty dope. If you want more information about the CreateWaves campaign, just in the description below, there's a link there to learn more about it. And you can, use the hashtag CreateWaves. All right, so we have some inspirations here. This is kind of like the landing page that it's on Adobe right now. And you're going to see so many resources out there and so many things that you can do. And there's a lot of people actually supporting this cause and also using their creativity to create amazing things. So we're going to do kind of like the same thing. We do have some assets here. So we're going to jump right into it right away. So we have some assets, some background color, some backgrounds and textures, some titles, some other photography here that we can use, some text and also some paragraph, but we're probably going to be creating something else for ourselves. So let's get started right away. So first things first, since this is going to be for social media, we're going to be focusing on Instagram, right? So what I like to do when I'm creating my posts, my personal posts, is just, press A on your keyboard and then scroll down here and you're going to see a section that says social media. So we're going to go with the one-to-one Instagram post, which is 1080 by 1080. We're going to just name this, Ocean 1. And we're going to do probably a couple of things here. We're going to do probably the one-to-one, which is the 1080 by 1080. We're probably going to do the 1080 by 350. And then at the end, if time permits, what we're going to do is just create a Instagram story, which is a 1080 by 1920. So we're going to start with the square first, perfect square, 1080 by 1080. So what we're going to do here, let's start by creating a nice color gradient. And what I'm going to do here is probably just go into the field here and just going to go linear maybe. And then let's pick, when we think about ocean, right? We think about blue colors and stuff like that. So I want to create something, blue first, but then we're going to experiment and do some little things. So let's get started with some blue gradients, maybe going across. When you pull your linear gradient, make sure you pull it off the edge of your artboard. That way it's more like a natural gradient rather than just having a harsh gradient. So let's pick our colors. So for this one, probably going to go with the darker version of that blue maybe. And then for the top one, we're going to probably go something about there. And then if you want to pull it away, because you want more dark, you can go like this, but I would probably go this way, maybe about there. I don't know. All right. Let's say hi to some of the people on the chat. I see Budu Bao there. Hello, everyone. That's pretty cool. So let's get started away with some background. So let me just like use these assets I already have in here and just like drop them in there. And then what I'm gonna do is just like hold down Option and just like make it bigger. But then what I'm gonna do here in my blending modes, probably gonna go into color, or not color, maybe luminosity. Perfect. And then lower the opacity down just a tiny bit so you can still see some of that lettering and also some of that texture in the background. So I think that's kind of dope. So I'm gonna leave it at there. What I'm gonna do also is probably bring maybe this into the picture. Just copy and paste, or just drag it if you want to do that. That's cool. Maybe we can bring maybe this just to see how this looks. Maybe we just bring it back. Maybe like around there. Maybe the ocean, we can make it smaller. Maybe like about there. Just center that. If you want to center some of the things like horizontally or vertically, just like go in here on the top right and just, you know, click on the middle one, or depending on how you want it to align your object. All right, I kind of like that. That's kind of cool. Kind of like mixing the greens and the blues and everything in here. But also when you're creating a social media post, you need to have some sort of a, like probably your tag somewhere, and also maybe your image or something. So we're going to create that right now. So click on the circle tool, or the elliptical. And then what we're going to do is like, we're going to pretend like that's going to be our image in there. And what we're going to add in here, we're going to add our name probably. So Ruben Cespedes. And then what we're going to add to is our tag. So we're going to just add username for now. And if you want to make a difference between those two, you can probably make this bold and just make sure this has a different font size so people can see it. Remember that this will be like pretty small on your device. So maybe 25, so 24 maybe. Let's do 24, and then for the line height, we're gonna do probably, I don't know, 25 or 26 maybe. Maybe 26. There you go. All right, so for now, we're gonna just like pretend like that's gonna be me in here. Maybe we're gonna select and put an image in there so that way it doesn't look that, you know, empty or so white, and maybe making it a little bit smaller. So for the image, I'm not gonna use my image. So what I'm gonna do is actually use one of the plugins, XD plugins, and I'm gonna use UI faces. So I'm gonna probably do on splash. I'm gonna select one image, and then I'm gonna pick one image out of all of these right here. So I'm gonna pick this one, pretend that it's me. Just drop that in there. And then what I'm gonna do is just like group this together, so that way I can use it later on. So let's add the name of username and tag, maybe username and tag. That's pretty cool. So I think I like this already, but then probably we'll missing something. Maybe we have to use the hashtag CreateWaves. Waves, maybe 26, and probably not bold. Maybe we can use a light version of that, or regular, maybe regular. Okay, so we want to make sure like it's lined up with the one at the bottom, but also I think that works. So that's kind of like the first one I said at the beginning of it. We're going to try different ones and different colors and different sections, and also maybe some stories at the end of it. We'll see. All right. So I think I have my first, kind of like my first try out the ocean, and then probably let's add in some, I don't know, some arrows. So we can point people to kind of like scroll to the left. So I'm gonna go to icons for designs and just type in arrow and see which one I like the most for this. Maybe, I don't know, maybe something simple as this one might work. So I'm gonna just cut it, because it pasted it in here, and then I'm gonna paste it, click on the artboard and the actual artboard, and then just like maybe pick a white, zoom in a little bit. Oops, I moved the whole background so we can lock this into place. So I'm gonna just like click on it and just like, give me 1 second. Let me just move this right here and line it right there. Let me go into my image. This is that image. This is the background. So I'm gonna just lock it. So Command and Control L, and that way you lock it and you don't move it around like I just did. So for the arrow, maybe we can just line it like about there, maybe, so we can tell people to go to the left or swipe to the left, which is awesome. I really like this so far. Maybe the second template, we can just hold down Option and duplicate the artboard. Right, and then what we're gonna do for this one, we're gonna get rid of probably this, maybe the ocean. We're gonna leave it as part of the brand and just like put it somewhere like in here maybe. And what we're gonna do is just bring this text, hold down Option or Alt on your PC, and then we see that it's white, it's black, so we're gonna turn it into white, so that way we make it legible so people can read it. We can either, so I'll align it to the left here, perfectly aligned. Maybe the background is too strong for this artboard. Maybe we just need to unlock this and just like dim it even more. So the opacity might be, I don't know, probably like, so that way people can read your stuff. Maybe about there. That sounds good. We can even grab this text and perfectly align it to the center. Maybe that could be one option too. It all depends on what you want and what you need. For example, you see there's something bothering me right here, and I don't know what it was, but I know what it is. It's actually the space in between this. So a little quick trick, you can do this like by using grids and stuff like that, but I'm just gonna eyeball it and just like use this trick like quick, so that way I can line it up like to my artboard. So if I go and create a perfect square and just like put it back and then just move this to the right, I have the same padding on both sides. Maybe we have to make this, I don't know, maybe a little bit smaller, like about there maybe. That sounds good. Then what I like to do is like actually copy the position and also copy the whole thing. Click on the artboard, just delete this because we don't need it anymore, and then paste it in. So that way it has the same margin or padding on the side. All right, so that's kind of like option number 2. For the second slide, we can do another option where hold down Option or Alt on your PC, and maybe this time we make this, I don't know, probably center, just to see how that looks. Design, it's all about trying, right, and practicing and all of that fun stuff. Maybe this one doesn't need to be that big. Maybe we can do like a small version of this, and maybe this text, we can expand it just a tiny bit, maybe make it 32 instead of 28, and also increase the leading a little bit so it's more legible. All right. Maybe let's see how that looks. Let's go in. Maybe we can bring this down just a tiny bit. Select these three and just perfectly center them in there. I like that. So we're going to move along and create another version of this one, probably using this image at the bottom. So we're going to just like copy this, duplicate it. We're going to use a different color background here. So I'm going to go into my background color, and instead of using a gradient, I'm going to use a solid one, but I don't know, maybe, I don't know, something like that might work. Maybe like an aqua, I don't know. Let's get rid of this bad boy. Let's zoom in. Let's bring this image into the picture. Okay, we can do something like that. Oh, and I'm gonna show you a trick that I like to do when I'm working on some stuff for social media. So, okay, I'm gonna get rid of that. Probably I'll bring this, and I'm just gonna use this as a background image. So I'm gonna make it pretty big. There you go. That covers the whole canvas or my whole artboard. And then what I'm going to do is just bring it back, command bracket, left bracket, and just like bring it back all the way to the back. And then for the blending modes, we're just going to, I don't know, let's try different things here just to see what works and what doesn't work. Luminosity kind of like works because let's see. Probably maybe multiply. Maybe that kind of works. That's kind of cool. Remember, guys, that contrast is very, very important. So we're going to just make this a little bit darker, maybe like about there, somewhere in there, maybe there. All right. So I like that already. This is a kind of like a second version of it using this image. And what I'm going to do for this one is actually, let's see if I can bring this to all the way half of it. So that way, when I duplicate this one, what I like to do here is actually bring this other half to the end of this one. So when you scroll from left, and you go to the next one, when you go from this one to this one, it kind of like looks like a seamless image that it's connected. So what I'm going to do is just like get rid of this. I'm going to put it probably up here. And let's see here. So the width for this one, for this trick, is to actually, all right, let's see if I can do this pretty quick on my phone here. I'm going to just like take this number right here, which is the X. This is the position of that image, and just take your calculator, or if you're great at math, that's awesome too. And just like what you're going to do is just type that number, which is 590 minus 1080, which is the whole width of this artboard. And this is negative 490. So if I put negative here, negative 490, what it's going to do is going to shift the position. And if I line this up, it's going to line up perfectly when you are scrolling into your Instagram, which is a pretty cool trick. So it always works. It's kind of cool. So let's just make this maybe smaller. I know we have to create other versions of this as well, but let's see if I can grab this and just like pull it down here. Oh, that's cool. All right. So maybe for this one, we're going to just like left align it here. We're going to left align it here. Also, we have some text here, but what we're going to do is probably make this a little bit, I don't know, fix the size of this and make it a little bit taller, so that way everything fits within our size. I think that works. Maybe just let me just make it so it's, I don't know, maybe this needs to be a little bit smaller, maybe down here. Perfect. And then just perfectly center this. That's great. I think that works. That's pretty cool. I really like this. So now let's move on into like resizing this and making, you know, a taller version of this, and probably make a story slide. So let's take it. Let's take this one, for example, and let's just make it. Let's just duplicate it, and then what we're gonna do is just, I'm gonna put it down here probably. And instead of creating a new artboard, just use the same artboard and then type in 1350, which is the taller version of that. And then pull this down, this blue line, pull it down. And then remember that we locked this. Let's unlock it and then just move that down a little bit. And then what we need to do is just like go in there, grab your stuff for the footer section, just bring it down to like about there. I don't know, maybe this, we're going to center this perfectly within the new size. And then this, maybe we do an overlap in. Maybe we do something like that, which is kind of cool, you know, and maybe we move it to the side and boom, you have your second size for the same, you know, for the same artwork that you have done. That is that one. And then what we're going to do, we're going to pull this one too. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bring it to the side here. And we are going to click on the height and type in 1350. Bring this down. Same thing. We're going to bring these two together. We're going to bring it down to, you know, like about there. Same thing for here. We're going to just like go to the top right and just click on perfectly align it to the vertically align it. And then this, probably going to make it bigger maybe. And just like, or maybe make it smaller so we can see more of this. And then just like do the same thing and perfectly align that, which is nice. Perfect. This is what we have done so far. Let's see, we have a couple of minutes. Let's see if we can do a quick story, which the stories are, since we have these two sizes already, we can just like duplicate this. Let's duplicate both, and so that way we are more efficient. And then both of them selected, what you're going to do is go to the high again and just type in 1920. 1080 by 1920. These are the sizes for these Instagram stories. So make sure you bring this all the way down, and then your background, probably you will have to like hold down shift and make it even bigger, so that way you see it, and it covers up the entire artboard. And then same thing for this, for your stuff. Maybe for your story, you will have something different. Maybe you don't need an arrow for that. Maybe for this one, you create a more like a bigger graphic for that. Maybe you leave this here, maybe for that, maybe like about there. I don't know. Maybe we can make this smaller actually. And then just bring the ocean, bring it back again and have like that little intro there. Same thing for this. What we're going to do is just going to delete these two. Just copy this one so we have the same position. Click on the artboard, paste, then do the same thing here, center, and then maybe make it, I don't know, like about there or so. That is perfect. That is great. So this is how you create like your Instagram post. That's how I create my Instagram post for my personal account, and this is how I always do it. Like if I want to go and do a perfect 1:1, which is 1080 by 1080, and also the 13 by 50, 1080 by 1350, and also your stories that are 1080 by 1920. All right, guys, I think that's pretty much it for today. I was pretty excited to work on this, and thank you so much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.